their PII, just say, okay, what company are you with? And if they have a question about that, they can call the office here, and we'll call the VA and say, hey, what's going on with this ABC company? I've never heard of them. But LHI, I've worked with them before when I did molds and demolds out of the Guard for the periodic health assessment. They're a contractor. The company was started by a former Marine across Wisconsin. So that's one of the things we need to make sure that we're working with the veterans on. But it's not for all claims. It's meant for somebody who has an existing claim and they want to get an increase. And they can't just get an increase because their buddy Doug, Bob, Jim, John say, hey, you should go for it. No, you have to have the evidence to support it. All right. And if they call them and they schedule them for an exam and they don't show up for that exam, for whatever reason, that may be grounds to take them out of that process and put them into the fully developed claim, which they'll have a year to supply the information. That doesn't necessarily always, that's not always the case. What the exception is?
If you get a DBQ form, which is a medical form from your personal doctor.
Exactly. And that personal, it can't be your personal doctor that's a general practitioner. It has to be an area of expertise for whatever it is that they're claiming. So if they don't show up for that exam, if they have a disability benefits questionnaire filled out by the appropriate licensed professional, that may keep them in the process. So that's why we need to be very, very careful when we put that information out there to the public. Oh, 30 days or less. No. It can be done, but it's not for a new claim. It has to be something
just for an increase.
For an increase. So we want to be very careful when putting that information in there.
And I've heard if you don't apply when or go through with the stage, you go to the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, you'll go into what is called the fully developed claim or the traditional process, because the intent to file has already been done. You've got 365 days to support the additional documents. So it's a good thing. It's good. I can see what they're trying to do, because they're trying, okay, we've been told by one of the service organizations, oh, you don't want to put in a claim unless they've had it for 5, 6, 10 years, because they're just automatically rubber stamping them to decrease them. Well, if they've had a claim for 10 years for the same thing and going for an increase. So that's where that thinking came in. But they're just rubber stamping. That's where if you had somebody, I've just been recognized for 30%, then 6 months down the line, I think I should go to 40% just because. Well, refer them back, they'll get a rating decision on whatever they're rated at, and it usually tells them in order to go to the next level, you need to have this, this, and this. All right. And then Martha and Casey are scheduled for the training coming up still in September. That's with American Legion training. Continue education. And Martha's scheduled to go to the State Counselors Conference coming up in Bay City in September too.
Yep, the following week.
So she'll be gone a lot. And then in the fall, it's my intent to go up to the advanced training for the service officers. That's usually held in Maryland. I used to go there all the time for a lot of their training. So that's that. And what else do we have coming up? Veterans Day. If any of you find out any information on when the Shiawassee County Parade is Veterans Day, let us know. Because Veterans Day this year falls on the 10th of November. That's also somebody's birthday. Here, 2, 3 people in this room's birthday. So, but what we want to make sure is the county recognizes that day off. We'll have that day off, right, the 10th, so that would be the 10th. So the staff will be working on that day, but it's the same thing in the years we go to different restaurants, but at the same time, the actual Veterans Day is the 11th, so if the parade happens on the 11th, so that's going to be pulling double duty. That's what I want to make sure that we know from staff that will be increased count. But if you find out when the Shiawassee County Fair is, let us know. We've been trying to find out if you know anybody here.
Last week. Yeah.
Not fair.
You said the fair.
Oh, I mean, when the Veterans Day is, whenever the Shiawassee County Parade is for Veterans Day, if you find out if it's going to be on the 10th or 11th, let us know. That way we can put it in the request. One thing that we're doing next week is, you all know Shane Cantu, right? And his uncle approached us a month and a half ago when Noah was out at, there was a car show at the Conservation Club, and said, yeah, we're having a poker run coming up in August, and we want to donate all the money to the Veterans Affairs. And we're like, okay, and we'd like you to have your vehicle there. And one of the things that we put through the memo with up in Saginaw, said, yeah, they allow us to do that. And what they want to do And our intent there, we need to recruit the drivers. At the same time, we get other veterans to know about it. So the van will start it up at Motor City Harley in Flint, and then they'll be back here. They'll finish up at the parking lot where the old Kmart used to be. So that's where, that'll be next, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. We'll have a table there with our banner and information out there. And that's one of the things, so, but when they donate it, we'll put it with the donations. It won't, anything over $10, it'll be a check, no cash. So that'll go into the donations out there from veterans.
You'll keep us informed of all these things that are going on.
Absolutely. As they go on, you'll see it in the newsletters. It's a little too late for next weekend's thing, but as we go forward. And one of the things too,
Well, even an email, you've got all of our email addresses. And if you can just send that out as a reminder.
and then the same weekend that Martha and Casey up in Higgins Lake, what weekend is that? September what?
8th.
Yeah. The 9th and 10th, that's, I want to remind everybody, out at Shiawassee County Fairgrounds. That's where there's going to be the Welcome Warrior program. So it's not just for veterans, it's for veterans and their families. I think that's it, with the exception, something's going on at the American Legion, September 11th at 6 o'clock. We're recognizing the first responders for 9/11 at 6 o'clock at night. So if you see any police officers or firemen, the Wasso PF or American Legion at 6 o'clock on the 11th, September 11th. And there, any first responders are given free hamburgers, not donuts, and they eat for free.
That's it. Thank you. Public comment, and let me introduce Commissioner Brandon Marks.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mind if I say a few things? First of all, Bill, excellent job, I think, on the statistics for the fair. Really appreciate that. I think that shows excellent organization skills on that part. Any kind of exposure for this board, this program is excellent for the county. So appreciate that. Second, I don't think, Bill, you tell them we sat down for budget negotiations already. Went well. I think you guys are one of the few boards that or even departments in this county, and if I've ever said anything about spending more money, but it would appear that we have some money to spend. I'm sure that you'll be briefed a little bit on that. Have you gone through the numbers with them yet already? So there's some wiggle room there, and that's good, because I'd hate to have the taxpayers come back and say, well, why are they drawing so much money when they're not spending all of it? So, you guys are wise on how to spend that, and you've always been good with that, so I don't think we have any problems, but that's something to look forward to. And then finally, I guess the elephant in the room, the last portion is, I do not have any new information in regards to the vets hearings last month, so I'm sorry I don't have any report on that. Haven't been in touch with Dan McMaster. He told me it should be about 2 more weeks. I don't know if I trust him. But if I know something, you guys will know something, okay? I don't know how many times did he kick back the hearings to begin with. He seems to generally kick the can down the road. He's a good man, but I'd like to get this back to you guys. I don't leave you hanging in the wind. I wish we could get it done over with and then seal this deal, but don't have any new information. If there's any questions you guys have for me, anything like, please shoot. Other than that, that's all I have to say.
Any questions of Brandon? If not,
Thank you.
thank you. Irene?
Yes.
Irene, before you get started, that backpack is yours. You told somebody down there that you wish you had one of those, well, that is yours. I don't know, are you gonna put it on your stroller or your walker? What are you gonna do? That's yours.
I had no idea
Put it
it
on
was
your
that
back.
large. I
You
thought,
gotta wear it home.
Yeah.
Around the house.
I will, yes. I really didn't think it was that large. Now, in regard to some of these messages that are coming through, what can we do to slow the people down in their talking? It's coming through to me like blah, 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 blah. And I'm not understanding a word. What can we do about it?
What messages?
They are mostly messages, from different agencies. And I'm wondering if I am missing something from VA or something. I just am not understanding. And they do not enunciate their words so that you can. Yes, I saw this article, something about press 1 for English.
One of the things you can do, are you talking about through the VA health system?
And really, that's what I'd like to know. I don't know if it's some advertising. I don't know if it's coming from a VA agency, some information that we are supposed to be hearing, maybe a doctor's appointment that we're supposed to have, or it's just these messages are not being done correctly for my age and my hearing condition. And I thought I'd bring it up here. Somewhere we have to have a start. And this is where I hope you can start doing. I don't know what can be done.
Well, I know it can be done. If you ever feel that the VA hospital is calling you, but you're not sure, I mean, you can always call me, and I can call up to the VA hospital with you and help you negotiate. Or
How do I know it is the VA?
well, we can always call together and figure it out.
That's what I'm getting at is, of course, if I'm lucky, my daughter-in-law is at home at the time, and she helps me out. But I lose a lot of information because I can't even call back. Well, some of the information, the phone number is there, so on my phone, so I can get that back. I can call back, but
How you found when you called back? Have you gotten hold of people? Did you understand after you called back what they wanted you for?
no. I
What did
have
they
to
say?
have my daughter-in-law call back because they rattle off so fast. Yes.
Well, probably most of them, and I experience the same thing probably everybody in this room does. So much of it is unsolicited advertising.
Well,
Or like, for instance, I've had someone talk about a car, one of my vehicles, to have it recertified. And they always say, do you want to do it? And I say no, and I think that's the end of it. Well, a week later, I get the same damn call. So those are what I call a nuisance calls.
I also
They're very
have,
aggravating.
I have that no call also, but
Doesn't
they
work.
come through. But the thing is that if there was a way for people to, when they first start, is give you some idea if it's advertising, if it's an appointment for your doctor. It's every message is,
Irene, do you have caller ID on at your phone?
yes,
And
Yes.
you can read what the numbers that
Yes.
come up and the
Yeah.
people that call? And you use that then when you answer the phone? It won't eliminate the robocalls that you get, but I don't answer the phone.
I get them with a Wausau
You-
telephone number that's
I just don't, if it's a number I do not recognize and it's not a local number, and sometimes these idiots, I don't know how they do it, but they will call on a local number and I don't answer it because I don't recognize the name or the numbers. You call that number back and they'll say it's a disconnected number. And how they're using that number, I don't know. But
yes, and I have had this happen where they will not accept anybody calling in. They
Yep.
will not accept the call.
Right.
Yeah, so,
I think it's just part of our society today. It's very frustrating, you know, I reached 4 score on Friday, and I'm essentially under your age, but I feel the same frustration that you do. And I just think if you know the people you expect to hear from, the rest of them, I wouldn't lose 1 minute of sleep on it, because I just think it's taken over society. Those of us who have been around a while, we are not the buyers, we are not the ones they really want to appeal to. So they feel that if we continue to ignore them, they'll go away sometime.
Well,
So I don't know if that's a real answer, but I really wouldn't get upset over it, Irene. It is frustrating.
well, one of my insurance companies, I have been trying to call them to ask them questions.
Sure.
And even in calling them, by the time I get through the first sentence, I'm lost. So I don't know if I'll, I guess I'm gonna sit down and write a letter. But if it was some way, somebody has to take charge and tell these people that some of us cannot follow a conversation that is just.
If it's an important call at the VA, they should leave a voice message for you.
Well, yes, I do have that happen,
Okay.
but anyway, I've said my speech.
Yeah.
We don't have the answer here.
Well, but if all of us started doing something and say to slow down or take the marbles out of their mouth.
Yeah, I know. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me, Bill, a quick question, if I can. Have you ever thought about putting the legal opinions that we've gotten from Toski in the back of our books so we can review those? Because that clarifies a lot of the problems and the questions
bylaws
that we
right
have.
now. You have your, what do we call them in here now? We call them rules.
Operating.
Operating.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have all that, so if we need to update those, we can put those in there. So, I
Yeah,
mean, if
and
there's something
this is
that's
all
not in-
through Toski, she
This isn't my book, this is your
Right.
book, this is your committee. So this is whatever you guys feel we need to put in here.
But they're all legal opinions by Toski about various subjects, all dealing with the 214 and veterans issues. That would clarify a lot of these
Is that something you gentlemen
misunderstandings.
feel we need to have in here, or?
The particular ruling we just went over,
Yeah,
possibly, so it doesn't become a confusion again.
yeah, exactly.
I have one more
You know,
question.
just a thought.
May I ask a question, please? When does our discharge papers become DD 214?
That
Dumb
happened-
question, but I need an answer.
Yeah.
That is your district.
That was 1967 when they switched over to DD 214s, but if you go back and look at the history, there's multiple things over the past. You had a WD 53 for World War II, then you had multiple things that were considered. Now, if you just have the WD 53 and just the front part, but it just says honorary, it needs to have the back detail and information. So there's multiple, not just that, there's
So
a
it's,
256, but about 1967 is when they became
Let me-
214s.
Let me put that down, please.
These were all 1967, right?
Yeah.
And that's about the time that they
19
stopped doing the,
1960,
were you were given a serial number? Les, did you have a serial number when you were in
and
service?
that is when it became
Yeah, they went
DD.
Okay. It was around 1967, we can get the exact dates and everything in there.
Well,
Give you the list.
no, just so I have something that, there has been some confusion about that, and I needed an answer, and I got it.
Before we
Okay.
go into the next thing on the agenda, Chairman,
Yes.
I have on the agenda that says closed session, but
Yes.
in light of that, do we need to do it?
No.
Okay, so, all right, in order to prepare for that, Irene, you don't need to go anywhere, we're not going to closed session, so you're okay where you're at? what we have here, we do have the hard copy applications, but if you look on the overhead here, here's a breakdown, a snapshot of what's before us. You've already signed the 4, or there was one from last month, it was for food assistance. It was $100, we just need the approval on there. I went ahead and approved that because it was a single veteran, allowed $500. That's one of the things in our bylaws that I'm allowed to do. The next thing is, we have 5 applications. The first applicant is Robert Porter, and I'll give you gentlemen time to look at them. All of them.
Signatures. This is the one for food that was already approved.
Let me know when you're ready, or just, I'll turn it up to the last one. And then we'll, if there's any discussion we need.
James Berry, we gave him money on April the 26th,
Yes.
and he was homeless. And what's the deal today?
With that, we gave him money. He got into, work with Olson and everything, he got into housing, and he is housed. And then, what happened that caused this, where he needs this?
He was doing payday loans, and he's got 2 of them out there, and they are making it so that he is not able to maintain himself at this time. With them gone, he will be he'll be financially secure.
So what are we doing?
All we did, actually, when he was homeless, we were able to get him through OLSHA,
Right.
and got him housed, but we did help him with food then.
So what does he want now, $255?
No, he wants $565 and $620 for the 2 different payday loans. And we did a hotel stay in April.
So he was here 4 months ago.
Yep.
And he's not able to find a job, or he's
He's disabled.
not able to work?
He's disabled.
Is there, this was done over the phone, or there's paperwork available on
Oh,
this?
there's paperwork available.
We got paperwork on all of them. You look at the applications, we just asked that you wouldn't show them to the public with social security numbers or anything.
We should be able to have that out there, simply because I prefer to have addresses with the names of the people, as well as.
paperwork.
We got the paperwork right here.
It's right here, but it is,
Full folder.
It's not gonna be put up here anymore for us, okay?
Not with the public. I mean, if we want to put it up there, we can. We would just redact it and take the,
not making sense.
But it's a public, we're a public forum now, it should be put up here so everybody can see it.
Yeah,
we can, but we won't put
Addresses or the personal
addresses
information.
or their social
I
security number.
prefer to have addresses,
Why
or
not?
Because it's personal
I
information.
want copies of,
It's public information.
Tip on.
Well, you can redact the social security number.
Yeah, we'll redact it, but for
I don't
this,
care what social security number.
These are the $200 food approval that Bill did.
But the problem is that you get veterans that are on the county line or something, and, they're coming
They
in
don't live in our
here.
county.
Yeah, they're coming in here for money, which has happened,
That's right.
and I want to know where these people are, because I know that this office staff cannot catch these all the time, and I think that this board, knowing all the people around here, we ought to be able to,
yeah, we can put that up there. Next month, we'll put it up there, but we'll just cover up the social security numbers.
yep, that's fine.
And then
Social security number, I don't need that.
date of birth.
Date of birth.
Date of birth, I really don't need that either.
Okay.
The name and address, and, that information, to me, is very important.
Excuse me, Bill, it's easy just to put a file number on this, so it's in front of the public. If somebody wants to FOIA it, yeah, they can get the other information, but we don't have to put that up all the time,
That's one of the things we can do, it's just,
you know.
I mean, you got the names and everything, you can look at it.
I don't want to go by just a number. I want a name and address.
Well, we'll still have the hard copy,
Yeah,
so that'll answer your questions.
but to pass that around to everybody,
Yeah.
that takes more than 2 hours that we usually are here. And if we put it up on the screen like we have for the last 4 or 5 years,
Well,
it makes it easier. It is public information, so
So we put
put
it
it
up
up there.
there, just redact the social.
Yep.
These have already been done.
Social Security doesn't mean a thing
The
to
food,
us.
the food,
Just food.
the food assistance, that's when you voted on.
Okay.
You voted on it.
Okay, that's it. I'm
Yeah,
sitting
the
here,
food
what the
assistance
hell is
already
it?
been.
I don't like your sign, I don't know. You?
When did we stop seeing the sheet that has the totals of bills versus money income?
Right now, this is
usually
it.
see it right now.
No, that doesn't show that. It shows the grand total, but it doesn't show
Right.
the bills that come in.
Yep.
Is that here? Okay.
Yeah, that's what you.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the other thing is,
Yeah.
you know, income opposed to expenses.
Yeah.
Those are very vital to
Yeah.
our decisions.
I totally agree.
Uh, Robert Potter, going back up, he was found homeless, hotel was $162. Pre-approved, only signature before veteran has been helped before. Has never been helped. That one you've approved that one, Bill?
That was a hotel stay, I didn't approve that one. This is-
Okay,
The food assistance, I did the $100 on that one, but it's the hotel stay. That one, was that the one that was called in?
Robert Potter?
Yes. That one was called in.
what is he doing now? Is
He's,
he out of the hotel?
he's still looking for housing, he's being put up, all right, that's the one that I think came through the American Legion there, Jim?
Yeah, but I didn't know all the,
No, they're working, he's working with OLSA, Travis has been up here. We've tried to encourage him that there's other opportunities out there, he wants to stay in Shiawassee County. This is a gentleman who was in long-term homeless. That was one of a group that was found out by the bridge. It was about 20 people, so.
this is the one right here.
Well, we're helping him, but is he gonna be able to help himself?
They call me.
Initially, we did that from American Legion.
So we haven't done any, so the only thing that you'll be signing off right now is for the $100 for James Hess, Jason
Right.
Hess that was passed.
You've approved that one, right? I don't have a problem
You
with
just
it.
sign it. The next one, before we go to, we'll vote on each one, however you want to do it, each one individual.
Well, yeah, I wanna do each one.
Okay. So any questions on any of them? Any of the other ones, gentlemen?
Well, James Berry, yeah, I got a question.
I like to see the paperwork on
Okay, do you have James's?
He's floating around.
It's going
it.
around?
Yeah, but it's gonna be kind of slow doing it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Is
The other
there-
way is better.
Is there a way, is the reason because of her absence in the office, you
That-
weren't able to put this
That,
up
plus I
there?
want to make sure we recovered everything before the lawyers spoke.
I don't see this individual even up here.
Who is it?
Heiss.
He's there.
It's the very first one, that's
Oh.
one, last
Oh,
month.
for food.
That's one, the food.
I'm kind of new, but I like the old way of doing it.
No, that's fine.
Like John Ron
It
said.
takes, I apologize, it takes 2 hours to usually scan all the stuff in. And
Right.
both Martha and I were in training
Sure.
yesterday and today, so. You saw veterans all day.
I realize it takes, but
That's sad.
it takes 2 hours to scan it all in, but otherwise, we're spending more than 2 hours going through all of this.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
7 of us.
We'll get them ready for next month.
Jesus, yeah, it was Oliver House. housing.
Gotta have a
I
plan,
haven't seen it,
man.
yeah.
Well, excuse you this time. Doesn't bother you.
I got thick skin.
That's a little bit. It sounds like a lot of work. Put them up on the board.
This next guy, Julius,
And they wanna
for selling
extend the length of my,
Consumers Energy with the wrong consumer's bill was submitted.
If you remember last month, he came, he had a bill that for Consumers Energy for a home that he wasn't living in.
It was a woman that owned the house, right?
Right. And he wasn't even living in it. But then he came back and he understood his confusion and he submitted the bill for the house that he lives in, because before it wasn't the house that he lived in. But this is the consumer's bill for that house now. And and so he resubmitted his application under that idea.
Okay, is he renting this home or is
He's lived there for multiple years.
he's lived there multiple years
Yes, years and years and years.
and he owns the home?
No,
He does not own the home.
no, he does not.
Is he living with his
He's
girlfriend?
cohabitating.
Signatures we got.
So it's really her house.
Yes,
This is Bennington Road.
Yeah.
yes.
is that your neighbor?
Oh, man.
If that's her, if that's her house, she ought to be paying the bill instead of him.
Right, we discussed this last month, I believe.
Yep.
Well, I know this guy, so I'm gonna excuse myself from it.
No.
Well, is there any discussion on that particular one? If not, is there a motion?
Do we want to go back to the top and start right down and go on each one?
We're gonna do one at a time. We're gonna
Let's
scan a couple,
Good,
not
let's-
do paperwork.
Let's get this one out of the way.
Okay.
We're on it. He's the same one we denied last month because he doesn't own the house.
Last week it was denied because he didn't live in that house. But this time he is living in that house.
This time he's not living in that house.
He does live in the house of this consumer's bill.
Well, he doesn't, I mean, it's not his consumer's bill.
No, she said that it is the house he's living in.
It's the house he lives in.
We
this
submitted,
time.
last month, we submitted the wrong address. This time, we corrected it to his address, according to what you said.
So he owns this house now that he's submitting the bill on?
He's always owned this house. He was confused because he has two consumers' house bills. He has two houses, two consumers' bill. One is very low, and he got them mixed up last month. This is for the home that the couple lives in.
And he owns this home?
No, he does not own it. He just lives there with his girlfriend.
Okay, she owns the house?
She owns the house,
Okay.
where they cohabitate.
We denied this last month for the reason that she owns the house. He has no ownership in it.
Last month, it was the
It was-
barn for electricity, not the house.
Really?
And the barn's rated commercial,
Yes.
so if you have any other properties, it makes it ineligible for assistance.
Does that happen often where you cohabitate with someone else, or?
No, not very often.
Okay.
Just the bill in his name.
Okay, he wants $2,073.79.